to her. L&L crew, motivators, king and queens, butterflies on the scene. Okay, you guys not helping me. Anyway, okay, so you guys, you see Lola, she wanted me to tell you her story, and she's been going through, and she wrote in to me for advice, and then I just knew it was Lola, so I just said, hey, Lola, because I thought it was Tanya, because Tanya's the one that I'm counseling right now. Tanya and Joe, and I'm always giving you guys Tanya and Joe, but I didn't know it was, me and Lola talked about it. I'm counseling her now, too, so this is what's going on. She's been with her husband for about a year, 2 years. She's been married 2 years, been with him for 3 years. That's how it goes, okay? Okay, so I'm just letting you know. So Lola had a problem, and what her problem was, her and her husband got in a big old argument. It was a big old fight. It was just sad. And when they got in an argument, he got so mad, he hit her. Yes. And he apologized. He's asked for forgiveness. He said he don't even know where it came from. He don't understand why he did it. He's just as upset as her, is what she said. And so Lola asked me, she said, because once a guy hits you, does that mean he's an abuser, or could it be just a one-time thing? Because we've been together for 3 years, married for 2, and he's never laid a hand on her or anything. So she really wanted to know. So I was like, well, I don't know if, I can't really answer those questions. So I had to ask some questions to get more out of the conversation. So I said, can you think about things that happened like 4 years ago? Just go back 4 years ago. How was your life 4 years ago? And so she was telling me, she had, lots of friends. They were doing girl night once every other week. She was doing just, she was just doing a lot of different stuff with her girlfriends, her family, and all this other stuff. She, she had a life. And then when she went up to the time where she met her husband and how they used to do stuff and they used to bond and, they got connected. And I said, well, I can see how you guys got connected. You guys did a lot of intimacy. She's like, no, we didn't have sex. And I said, honey, intimacy does not mean sex. I have to always say this because people really think intimacy means sex, and it doesn't. So if I say it all the time, that is the reason why I said it. So Lola was like, no, it wasn't. I said, no, it doesn't mean that. So, it just means building a connection between you and your partner. She was like, oh, okay. She said, yeah. And I said, I could see you guys got close and everything. And I said, yes. And so we was just talking. She was telling me how all the wonderful things they did to when he proposed and how beautiful it was when she proposed and all this other stuff. And I was like, so she was just telling me, I was just having her breakdown and telling me everything she was doing daily and stuff like that. And so pretty soon I was like, you know what you haven't said, honey? And she was like, what? And this is way before we got to why he hit her. I said, you don't do your girls' night every other week. What happened? Did you do it or you just forgot to tell me? She said, no, I stopped going because we were doing stuff together. And, I'd be wanting to spend time with him. And so I would just not go to girls' night every other week. And I said, okay. And she said, is that a problem? I said, we'll get to it. But, I'm just trying to hear the storyline. I said, we'll get to all that. I was just wondering. And then we were talking. I'm like, girl, you don't spend time with your one cousin that you was telling me about. What happened to that? And she would say, oh, because that's when we used to go. We decided to go to the coast on those days that me and my cousin would do the such and such. And I was like, oh, okay. And then we was doing it and doing it. Pretty soon she was like, you know what? And I was like, what? She said, I stopped doing a lot of stuff that I was doing before, and I don't think I even realized that I stopped doing it. I said, yeah, you did. And she said, I really don't even talk to them like I used to. Like, I don't talk to them not even once a month. And I said, yeah, that's not good. And she said, I don't even know how it happened. And I said, well, usually, in my opinion, I don't know, when you start distancing yourself from your family and your friends and distancing yourself from all the wonderful things that you used to do that made you who he fell in love with in the beginning, it keeps you in this bubble by yourself. And then you have nobody to lean on. So when something like this, where he hits you, you will accept it, because not only is he your husband, he's your only friend. You're not just your best friend, he's your only friend. He's your cousin, he's your mother, he's your daddy, he's everything to you, because you done alienated everybody. And it's not you, he did it. And he did it so sly that she didn't even realize it. And she was like, oh my goodness. I said, yes, I don't think it might be the only time this is going to happen. It might have been the first, but he knew he had the freedom to do it, because in actuality, who do you have to lean on? And she was like really shocked. So she broke down and cried. Of course, I'm crying too, because I'm just like, something so small and little changes that you do daily, it leaves you by yourself, and you don't realize you're by yourself. So then when you get hit, who can you lean on? Because you ain't talk to your friends. You don't kick it with everybody. And your friends get mad, because I'm going to tell you, I was one of those friends. You can ask my mama. I was one of those friends that if you left me for your man, I was done. Our friendship was over. I hated it. I hated having friends and we be so close, and then they get a boyfriend and I don't even know who they are anymore. Hated it. And I would never do that, but oh my goodness. So I was one of those people. So I understood. And I tell you, if you're one of those people that's like me, do not do that to your friends. Do not. Still try to stay in contact with them. Still try to contact them and talk to them. Still have those relationships with them, because you really want to have that relationship. I just want to tell you that offhand, firsthand, whatever. So when we talked, I told her, I said, what you need to do is you need to separate yourself from your husband. Because I'm not a person to tell somebody to leave their husband. But I do tell you to separate yourself from your husband. So that means leave the house. So he understands that this is not something that's going to happen. I don't care if you apologize or not, but this is not going to be something that happens. Find somewhere to stay. I mean, if you have to beg and plead to go to your mama's house, your cousin's house, or whatever, find a place to stay. So what we did at that time is she got on the phone. She talked to her cousin. Her cousin said, yes, you can stay here. She didn't tell nothing to her cousin. She just says, I need some time to think and clear my head. Because you don't want nobody in your business like that. You really don't, because this is something that you have to make a decision on. You can't take cousin's advice at this time. Now, you'll get to the time when we'll get there when we can talk to cousin. But right now is you got to clear your head. Then you need to tell him he needs to get counseling, because for some reason, for him to feel like he could hit you accidentally or whatever, he needs help with that. Then you need to start building your life while you're with your cousin. Start doing stuff with your cousin. Find your friends and see if you could, if they're doing ladies' night. If they're not, find a way, get some co-workers and do ladies' night every other week, once a month. Get that in you. And start building your life back, because he fell in love with that person. That's the person you need to be. He slowly manipulated to move you over here. Now, sometimes every man don't slowly manipulate. Sometimes we just be so happy to be with our man that we be like, yes, I want to just be with him and only him, because that's fine too. But knowing that, like, maybe your friends come over to your house, or they, you still, people are still in your life. But yeah, there's some people that you just want to be up under your man 24/7. There ain't nothing wrong with that. I am not going to tell you there's something wrong with that. But I'm just saying, when you find out that you ain't got nobody and you looking around and you done stopped everything, one thing I tell you right now, don't ever stop your life for nobody. Not for your man, mama's cousin, brother, sister, your kids, nobody. Continue your life, because that's what helps you be you. Is the things that you love to do. And don't let that die down. Sometimes we let stuff die down. It ain't got nothing to do with nobody else but ourselves. But keep that in mind. Because that's where depression can creep in. That's where loneliness can creep in. That's when things can come down and you want to all of a sudden want to kill yourself can creep in. Or somebody can abuse you. And that's not just your man that can abuse you. It could be your friends, your family, anybody. You need all the other people around to help you. Now, you don't need to take everybody's advice, but you need everybody around you that is a support and that helps you be the person that you need to be. The reason I'm taking a long time on this one, because there's so many women out there that are being abused, and sometimes we don't catch it in the beginning. This is for people who can catch it in the beginning. And I really appreciate Lola coming to me and talking to me about it from the beginning so we could deal with this now. So, as it's been 2 weeks since this happened, Lola's doing a lot better. Her husband is getting counseling. He just started counseling. I think his first day was like yesterday or the day before yesterday. And she has gotten back with her old friends. They was right there. They was still doing it every other week. So she went 1 week with them. She said her life just felt so much better. Her and her cousin was doing stuff that whatever they were doing before. She went to mom's house on family day. I think her family day was like, it was a weird day too. I think like Tuesday. I was like, what family day we doing on Tuesday? I thought it was on Sunday, but everybody to each his own. But she's building her life back. And he knows he loves her. And he knows he was wrong. But like I told her, don't rush to move in. Wait till the counselor tells you. So she also has to start counseling. She hasn't started her counseling. He started there, and then they're going to do one together. And then they'll work their way into moving back into together to work it out. But it was one time, and I think we nailed it from the beginning. If you get it from the beginning, you might can change some lives because, you don't want that to be something you're into the whole time. So, and if you guys were asking, yes, she has kids. And then she took the kids with her. And the kids are with her. And they go see their daddy on the weekend and stuff like that. So, I hope that answered y'all question on that too. And it's been 2 weeks. So, hopefully I remember to keep you guys updated on Love Love. If you're going through any of that, please, there's I should have got these numbers. Maybe I can look it up. 1-800-ABUSE numbers for you to go to, because some people might be in too deep, and even if you're in too deep, go to counseling. Go to abuse places, because you might not be able to be strong enough to leave. Start building up on yourself first, because this is hard. And to go through this is really hard. And if you know anybody that went through what you're going through, go to them for advice and talk. You don't have to take everything somebody says, but go and listen. Go to some counseling meetings. Go to some therapy. I don't know what else to tell you, but really go, because there's so many people being abused. It's not only women that's being abused. There's men that's being abused as well. And men need some help too and some counseling. So hopefully when Eli does this, he will find a 1-800 number to put up on the screen for you guys to go to. I love you guys. And if you know anybody that's going through this, don't leave them because they keep going back to them. It's hard when you feel like you're alone, and that's your heart. When you put your all into somebody, it is hard to let go. And because you have not been through it, does not mean somebody can snap out because you said to snap out of it. It doesn't work that way. So be supportive, be there for them. And you don't always have to tell them to leave. Just be there for them where they can vent, talk, cry. You can hold them, comfort them, and be there for them. Okay? Remember to love and live each day as if it were your last. Smooches.